No problem. Very good afternoon to everybody, and thank you to all the speakers and the audience for making this such a wonderful session. My name is Raghuveer, and I've spent the last few years in the world of innovation and entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to speak to you about mindset. Most of the speakers have already touched upon some of the points, but then let's see what more we can learn about mindset. So the year was 2010, and I was in a corporate job. But there is always this bug in my head to do something on my own. But I didn't realize what it entailed, how difficult it was, right? Jump to the year 2013. It was my first venture. And I was struggling. Trust me, I was really struggling. So let me ask you a question. How many of you all really want to become founders or start something on your own? A raise of hands, please. Oh wow, that's a large number. It's tough, but it's achievable. Trust me. So, going back to 2013, I was struggling, but there were some success stories. There was a lot of media PR being done around, the Swiggies of the day, the Flipkarts of the day, and I was thinking, what's wrong with what I'm doing? What's wrong with my venture, right? And that's when I hit upon a point. What if? Can we move on, please? Can you stick to the dialogue? What if the problem is not out there, but in here, the heart and the mind? That's when I began to prod on the concept of mindset. Did a lot of research, talked to like-minded founders, talked to a lot of academicians who were doing research on the concept of mindset, and then I realized it's not the idea, it's not the product, it's not even the funding that you receive, but there was something more invisible that was at play. And it was right inside me. That was the founder's mindset. Moving on. After all of those years, and I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to get there, still some areas of enlightenment, some areas of realization, but I've zeroed down on 6 fundamental mindset shifts that can help you achieve success. And mind you, success is not something that is permanent, it is very transient in nature. It's like a bumpy road, right? Sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. You might lose success, you might gain success, it's a journey. So, let us go through these 6 fundamental mindset shifts. And when I do this, I want you to understand, think about your work, about your study, and about yourself. Which one of these embody you? Which one of these do you resist? And which one of these are you ready to take the next shift in? The first shift, comfort to courage. Founders can never be in a comfort zone. You will have to be courageous. You don't wait for the fear to dissipate. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of it, right? It's tough to get out of your comfort zone. Your human brain would want you to sit in the comfort zone. But then how will you grow if you don't get off the couch? So, founders always take steps and then think of the consequences later. Because you can't wait. There's somebody else trying to do something similar. Mindset shift 2. Scarcity to abundance. Can you move on? There are slides on each concept. We've just covered this. Scarcity to abundance. We have this mentality that most people say that we don't have enough. We don't have the money, we don't have the resources. But the point is to be resourceful and not having more resources. What can you do with what best you have? Right? It's a shift from scarcity to abundance. Right? And constraints are creative fuel. The lesser the money you have, the more creative you become. The more money you have, you're just splurging the money and you're not actually getting a lot of things done. And there are a lot of examples in the startup world where a lot of money didn't help them, even though they raised millions. Mindset shift 3. Idea to execution. Ideas are great, but they're not rare. All of us have ideas here. Each one of us has 10 ideas. But what is rare is rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty and building that next product. It can be messy, it could be unfinished, but you can at least build a prototype. You don't just sit on an idea, because ideas will just remain that, ideas in your head. So go for the execution. Momentum is more important than that magic idea. So take steps every single day to move that idea to something much more tangible and which could be consumed by the market. Mindset shift 4. Noise to signal. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise out there. Opinions, social media, distractions, data. But how do you process all of this? How do you know what noise is and what the signal is? How do you find the signal in the static? Like how do you find channels on a radio? Right? So you are bombarded by more and more information. The faster the advancement of technology, the more information that is hitting you. But you need to have that mentality to actually, decipher what the signal is out from the noise. Mindset shift. 5 or 4? 5 or 4? I'm just checking whether you guys are sleeping or not. Mindset shift 5. Ego to empathy. This is a very tough one. The first reason is because we don't understand what ego is. We use it very loosely. 2, it is a shift from me to we. It's not about you being the smartest. It's about how do you join hands with everybody else and build something great. The greatest of the achievements are not done alone. Forget the myth of a solo genius. Those were the olden days, the medieval days, right? Even the greatest of scientists had somebody backing them, right? So build with teams. And this is not a lone journey. A founder's journey is not a lone journey. You will have to build great teams and work with them. Mindset shift 6, which is a follow-on to the previous mindset shift. Lone wolf to community. Please don't do it alone. It's already a hard journey. Ask for help. I know asking for help is tough. Asking for help is a strength. It's not a weakness. You don't become any less if you ask for help. And there are a lot of people out there who are ready to help you if you just ask for it. Right? And build together. There is more happiness in building together than building it alone. Right? There's a saying, right? You walk alone, you go faster. You walk with a bunch of people, you go longer. This is the journey that you're supposed to be aspiring for. So stop being a lone wolf. Yeah, it is very fancy. It is the fad of the day. I'm a lone wolf. Hashtag and so on and so forth. But get into that community, get into that like-minded circles and start building something that really matters. Only through feedback can you build a great product that the market requires. This is all great. 6 mindset shifts, awesome. But how do we get there? It all looks like some fancy concepts, but they're actually very practical in nature, right? Here are 3 things that everybody sitting here, anybody, irrespective of their age, creed, caste, culture, or education, can practice on a daily basis. Number 1, reframe daily. What do I mean by that? Flip the coin. Flip the equation. Why is this happening to me? Could be replaced by, why is this happening for me? Right? Let me give you another example. Oh, why did I fail? Versus, what could I have done better? Because you have chances, like our previous speaker said, time and again you have opportunities. Every second you have an opportunity to improve. So reframe. Stop the thought from becoming negative. Okay, you could not stop it there. Stop yourself from reacting to a negative thought. Because thoughts are just happening in your head. They're just, like trains coming to the station and leaving the station. You have no control over your thoughts. So reframe your thoughts on a daily basis. Make the negatives positives. There is a positive in every negative. 2 negatives make 1 positive, right? So first practice is to reframe your thoughts on a daily basis. It is a practice. Why I am calling them practices is because just like you work out or practice yoga, you will have to practice these things to move to a better mindset, a growth mindset, a founder's mindset. Practice number 2, reflect weekly. If you don't have a baseline for measurement, how do you know whether you're growing or not? So you need to keep asking your questions. Okay, let's say you've tracked yourself last Monday. You're back on this Monday. What went well last week? What went wrong last week? What could I have done better? What could I have learned from the experiences? And many more questions like that. Whether you want to journal it, whether you want to put it up as notes on your iPhone, if you have an Android phone, maybe some other app, or any other way. There are no specific tools, right? These are just practices. So reflect on your progress every week. You are your biggest measure. Don't measure yourself against anybody else. Right? Practice number 3, showing up every day. You won't believe the power of showing up every day. Consistency is key. Right? And just set aside 30 minutes of focus, deep work zones. Like no distraction, push you aside. Switch off all your notifications, get off your phones. Yes, I want to get this done. Sit for 30 minutes, dedicate 30 minutes to the task, and consistently do it over a period of time, and it will be complete even without you knowing it. You could apply the same 30-minute practice to your body, your mind, your work, and so on and so forth. Right? So the third practice is to have discipline. Discipline is freedom. From what? If you work out, you have freedom from illness. If you meditate, take care of your mind, you have freedom from suffering. Right? And if you read, learn, and research, you have freedom from ignorance. So discipline is always greater than scattered busyness. Just sitting at the desk for 20 hours a day and trying to figure out something does not work. You need to be deliberate about it. Yes, this is what I want to achieve, and this is what I want to do. And I need to do, right? So, please show up every day, be consistent. Over a period of time, it will become a habit, and the habit will convert into second nature. You'll begin to like it. There is nothing called passion. Yeah, I want to follow my passion, but what exactly is passion? What is your passion? You have not even realized it yet. So there's no point in even following it, right? So mindset is not set in stone. It's the stories that you tell yourself and the stories that you are interpreting from the external stimuli that stimulate the information and the data that is coming from the external world. So let's make those stories fun, right? And let's make those stories valuable and something positive for ourselves. And why I'm saying all of this is because finally that barrier that truly matters and the only barrier that you have control over is your mindset. Thank you so much.